Yeah, I want to talk about your flesh and your spirit. How sometimes we listen to our flesh rather than our spirit, because when we listen to our flesh, we do sinful desires and we listen to those things and we do sins that God doesn't want us to do, because sometimes our flesh fights against our spirit because God wants us to do a certain thing, because the reason why he wants us to do the certain things like not sinning is because he wants us to live with him forever, but he's trying to get us ready to do that. But he can't allow you to live with him if you keep doing those things, because if you were to enter his kingdom with all these sinful deeds, then it would be chaos. People would be arguing, fighting with each other, and trying to just hurt each other and call each other names. But I want to talk about how our spirit is basically encased in this flesh that God has created for us to come out into the world, because God is giving us time, because God knows we need time, because without that time we wouldn't be able to enter his kingdom. What we need is time, but time is running out. And if you don't start following God and repenting for your evil deeds, stop paying attention to what your flesh is telling you and start paying attention to what your spirit tells you. Did you know sometimes if you're in a quiet room and you just listen, God could be talking to you and telling you what to do and what not to do? Because I was one of those people. I used to pay attention to my flesh, but now I have to pay attention to my spirit, because God is getting us ready. God wants us to live with him. God goes through extraordinary lengths so he does not punish you, because God already knows what his punishment will be, but he wants you to live with him forever. And he wants you to never die with him so he can take care of you as your king, because he loves you. Do we always want to do what God wants us to do? No, because your flesh fights against your spirit. But what God is telling us to do is for our own good. It's not for something that our flesh is going to like for us to do, but it's going to be something that'll help you in the long run, because this life is like a blip on the radar. It might seem like a long time because you're living through it, but after this life is over, eternity is way longer than the life that you're in right now. See, God is just giving us time. Because if God didn't love us and he didn't want to give us time, why would he send Adam and Eve out of the garden after they sinned, instead of automatically just destroying them right there? He wants to give them time because he loves them. He wants us to come back to him as his true children.